Islam, peace and love, greetings and hotep. Canaanland Moors, throwing one in because we got practice tomorrow. So, you know how we do. Use time well, when we could get it. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. There was, it started late because I was on the phone. So we're going to have somebody calling in, drop something on some people because it's real out here. And Canaanland Moors, you know, we always get the scoops. So don't worry. About 15 minutes, we have a call from somebody that's gonna show you, prove that this fraud that people push about libel, we have a prophet. We have a prophet. And Noble Drew Ali was clear to the Moors that we don't open our ear to slander. It's not because we're on our own path. Just to let you know why stuff gets beat up all the time by Cujo. Because to be used as an example for new people to realize how real this is. People think this is some crap because they're listening to dirty Moors, they're listening to unconscious Moors, they're listening to everybody except Moors who are actually doing something that have something to show that we're doing something to show you that this Moorish paradigm is real and applicable. With regard to any situation that you could think of, it's applicable in some kind of way. It can, it can, it's operative, not speculative. No matter what the situation is, don't worry. When we get the text for the call, you'll see how serious moral science is. What Noble Drew Ali did with regard to putting out this divine work called the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, that you might also hear called the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Same books now, different separation, nothing between the Moors. There's unity over here. The disunity is with dirty Moors and other people. And, stupidly looking at me being against somebody when you're not against dirty Moors. They have their lane, you know, but we have our lane. And as we're passing them, we're stoning them because, they're in the slow lane. So know that the hex that Noble Drew Ali put on all these people who didn't have faith in him is starting to manifest itself. Because go look up prophet, make sure, go look up prophet so you know what a prophet is. Right? This divine preparation of literature called the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, told the Moors not to put their ear and even consider anything that's slanderous. It's in the book. Okay? It's in the book. So all people who've been had it twisted or whatever, because remember, Noble Drew Ali told them or study the Quran and whatever. And if you're telling me that you're LB and I ask you about something in the Quran 101, you can't answer, but you can tell me about executor letters and copywriting, whatever. then you obviously have no allegiance to the Prophet. And your stuff is coming. You either get with the program or, you know, just turn it in. There's no such thing as the Aquarian gospel is the Moorish science temple, the Moorish holy temple of science, Holy Quran. People put that out there to cause whatever confusion. It's okay. Faithful Moors, true Moors, they already know what's up. We're not worried about these slanders or whatever. Like we say, we don't have anything to prove to anybody. If you want to be black, go right ahead. You want to be African, hey, do your thing. You want to be, you know what I mean, Kemetic of the ancient order of whatever, hey, do your thing. But just like the sister last night who called me and called other Moors, she got problems, state trying to take stuff. And all years before that, dissing Moors. Now 360 have to come around and come to a Moor now to get assistance. After you diss Moors all these years. Well, you could have been studying. And there's not no talk behind the back, because, you know what I mean, I told her straight, just like this. Don't blame Moors. You've been studying this info. Chose not to. Got judgment, now you're coming right back to the Moors to get out of whatever crap when you want to be niggers under the guise of Egyptian and Kemet and whatever like that. Do your nigger stuff. And then want to come to Moors after. Talk about how come the Moors don't write writs and get him out and stupid stuff like that. So make sure that study your Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, and your 101 questionnaire. That's what Noble Drew Ali said, study. Why? Because those little two books or whatever are encyclopedias, or you know, the five shelf encyclopedia is in those two little books right there. Those two little books, the Holy Quran of the Moorish. People can say whatever they want about it, right? Because remember, you know, we have the Home Alone. We don't have anybody give orders and stuff like that. The only person giving orders is Noble Drew Ali. And orders been laid down. All we have to do is just follow the orders. You know. So just so you know, so we're clear about what we're talking about with this term, word, libel, libel, right? In practice, page 1060, Black's Law, Revised 4th edition. In practice, the initiatory pleading on the part of the plaintiff or complainant in an admiralty or ecclesiastical cause corresponding to the declaration, bill, or complaint. A written statement by a plaintiff of his cause of action and the relief he seeks to obtain a suit. In Scotch law, the form of the complaint or ground of the charge on which either a civil action or criminal prosecution takes place. A libel of accusation is the instrument which contains the charge against a person accused of a crime. Libels are of two kinds, namely indictments and criminal letters. Okay? So all those indictments for people didn't do this, people didn't do that, are libel. Right? Just like we brought it up. Diploma is a rolled up piece of paper. And then think about everybody who you know that got a diploma. And what did they get? And they take the picture on the stage, a rolled up piece of paper. Doesn't matter what's on it. That's why it's the fool system, not the school system. Because, you have a fez coming out of there. Why, why are you accepting a rolled up piece of paper? Oh, that's not a fez, that's a graduation cap, right? So remember, all the indictments, all the stuff is libel. And when we go to the definition of what it means in torts, you would see now why they go with so much force when they have warrants and everything else. Because they're criminal people. And it's not because of the law and this guy is behind the door, might have a gun or whatever like that. In torts, a method of defamation expressed by print, writing, pictures, or signs. In its most general sense, a publication that is injurious to the reputation of another. Right? So that's what they do with indictments. Injure innocent people. Innocent until proven guilty. Why is that their slogan? Because you're guilty going in. And really, innocence until proven guilty applies to the court, not the individual going in there. Because that's their little boys club, their network. And because of so much compliance or default by the heirs of the estate, now you have people 360, 7 years ago, they could have been whatever, now they're coming to Mars. Because the game's over. That's the only way to go right now. There's no other there's no there's no other avenue. Everything else is a dead end. There's a light at the tunnel of the Moorish lane. Everywhere else is a dead end. And I'll put it on the record that we don't. That's why you think whoever you name them, right? Whoever, Negro, black, colored, conscious, whatever, that has issues with Moors, they don't go to Moors directly. Sabir has a show. You call in. How come you guys, people not calling in? Because they want to use the platform of, be conscious, whatever like that, to fleece people into not being down with Moors. Because that's the only way to go. We already showed people, Ali Muhammad been a bait. Then he'll come sell packages after that. Marcus Society, they tried to sell us packages when we first came into this. 600, them times, 2007, 2008. 600. Send the birth certificate over. Send the social insurance number over. So we could file and do stuff. When all they had to do was tell us about the Prophet. That's all. Tell us about Noble Drew Ali. Tell us about those two books that he said for us to read. That people are going to do their little, fraud, trying to compare that to the Aquarian Gospel. But, they got 20-something chapters in the Quran that's not in the Aquarian Gospel. So who's really plagiarizing? How could it be plagiarism? How could people really fall for that? Why? Because not studying, not having faith and trusting in the prophet, the last prophet, the last prophet in these days and times. Oh yeah, people are gonna, yeah, we mentioned prophet, that means spooky. Right? That's their opinion. But the fact of the matter is that there was a prophet, and what's real crazy is because of people spreading their propaganda, or whatever, trying to, injure the reputation that Noble Drew is supposed to have here. Because the principles transcend time and space. So principles always be there. But why was that vessel chosen to be the one to deliver this? You know, the heights of Noble Drew Ali's missionary work is beyond earthly. He's coming with generations of ancestors for millennia with him. When he started doing this work of getting these people to realize that they're not civil mortals. They're not dead in the eyes of the law. El Hajj came as little. Kill that, adopted Malcolm. Kill that, Malik. Shabazz, El. Not tying to the fraud, not tying to the propaganda. Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali. That's nationalization. Now, when people know that you're national, that's why when you get the call, you see what's good. Right? When it's known that there is a nation, and knowing that there's a nation, you take the position of method of defamation, express print writing, whatever, against that nation, knowing that what you're saying isn't right and exact. Those are the ones that are the issue. Because that means that there's intent behind it. It's not ignorant. Just talking some crap. Right? Not just, talking whatever. The real injurious libel is when there's intent behind it. And that's the issue with dirty Moors, why they get their ass kicked all the time. Because you cannot know about Noble Drew Ali and what he brought for the redemption of all these people out here that are calling themselves whatever it is in a dead status and don't have a nationality. And not put them on. One, if you are going to put them on, charge them for it. And on top of that, slander the individual who brought this perspective, slander by not even mentioning his name in your demonstration of the things that he taught. That's corruption at its heights that needs to be dealt with. And the only way that it can be dealt with is people know what it is and what's going on. And as we as we go on, will realize how um, these false things that they do to make people not be down with this is really to not. Islam, more 1 second, right? It's really to nothing, right? Accusations. How many people do we know that say that there are more, proclaimed, everybody's put on notice, all that, have nationality card, all that, and they get in a situation, go to some building, kidnapping building, where they process chattel and run Moors through that system in names that's not theirs. Right? Like straight denationalizing people who are national. And then people are gonna look at those accusations that are in a name that's not the identification that was given in the initial interaction with these people, and come up with their own whatever of what the outcome would have been. Right? That's why Moors put stuff on the record all the time so that people know how real this is. It's not to prove. We're not putting out receipts and whatever like that to prove something. We're putting it out so it's on the record, because that's what you do when you have precedent. You put it on the record. Why not put it on the record? You're not trying to impress nobody, sending them a writ and you got, you know what I mean, stuff on the top. Oh yeah, this writ looks good or whatever. When they get this, just do it, send it out, put them up, put it on the record. Can't say that you never got something from me. And we keep it moving. But it's getting to the point now where people are blatantly not accepting this now. Like, it's not even like the amount of information that the Moors have put out in the past 50 years with regard to our position as dark-skinned people in the Americas, right? And the jurisdiction and status that we have and had during the history of this thing. And people still don't want to get down on this. Something's definitely in the water, in the food, something, you know. But again, we have a position, we have a lane. And as Moorish Americans, our lane is to defend the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Because traitors are why you don't know about him in the scope that we should know about him. There's Moors tell you some stuff about the Prophet that you never heard from anybody. And they only know because their uncle and their whatever and their whatever great whatever were members in the temple. And they just happen to find the box of the stuff that had everybody's stuff in it or whatever. Just because they were on the frequency of more science. Found out that they had people in their family that were down with this. So this wasn't something, you know, even back then that was, you know, non-existent, nobody knew about it. There's people today, our generation, who know people who know their granddad or whoever was in the temple. And all of a sudden they're not conscious no more. That consciousness that was in their family line is lost. That you have some man now finding out about more science when his family was in this already. That's how much traders were around. And all those traders are still around today. Still playing around with people's birthright. And we're trying to show the people, this is your birthright. This is your birthright. This is not somebody put you on the stuff. So to completely destroy the slander and the injurious talk and everything else that everybody likes to do against Moors, right? So I put it on the record. This is stuff happened yesterday, right? Now, to back up, when we went to Indiana for the lecture, Louisiana for the lecture in Shreveport, Islam to all the Moors there, right? Um, Met with a Moor that, you only have phone conversation or whatever, Facebook stuff, and then you meet Moors for real. And it's like, oh, it's actually for real. It's not just a picture, right? So maybe like a few days after that I left, right? Moor gets kidnapped or whatever. So you're gonna hear what happened when a Moor got kidnapped, right? From start to end, just so that it's clear that we don't, our position in this is to let people know about their nationality and birthrights because we got it. Like, we have the stuff. You know what I mean? You know how people have the perspective, the Jordans or the weed or the hookup for okay, that's what it is as far as, conscious people are concerned. And there's these people called the Moors, and then there's everybody else that says, they're conscious. Okay, the Moors have the stuff. Like, we have it. Letting you know that we have it. Right? And our stuff is so tight that once you're willing to die for this, once you can show, if you can show faith in the Prophet to the level where you could be almost about to die, but you hold on for a little bit longer. When Noble Drew Ali said that the mountain of gold and all that stuff would be revealed to the Moors and all that, that's when you get there. Until you're faithful in Noble Drew Ali and willing to sacrifice your life for what he brought you, then you really know what this is about, right? So, there's a lot more. We're gonna just let you do your thing, just put your name on the record or your appellation on the record, and just let us know what went down.
Okay. Well, first off, Islam to everybody who's listening in. I'm Jamil Bay, and I was traveling in the Texas territory, and got pulled over by one of the kidnappers. And so, he come ask for the identification or whatever, driver's license, which I did have. So I should have put it in my nationality card. And he's like, what's this? So I told him what it was. He never saw one before or whatever. He takes it, goes back to his kidnapper's vehicle, and he comes back. So he tells me, oh, well, we know about your boys. And then he stopped. So we stayed on the side of the highway for about 45 minutes. So he goes back, he sits in the truck, and he talks to somebody on the phone, and he tells me he has to take me in. Take me in for what? So, or you don't have any proper identification. Proper identification, you have my identification in your hand. So he gives it back to me, and he proceeds to take me down to the to the building where they house people, or where they kidnap you, or process you through their thing or whatever. And so we get down there to everybody, and they put me in the holding cell. So I'm sitting there wondering what's going on and everything. So they call me out and take me into this little room, and it's another guy sitting in. He puts his identification or his credentials on the table. I look at it and it's Federal Bureau of Investigation. So I'm like, well, oh great, I'm glad to see you. So maybe you can help clear some of this stuff up. And the first thing I hit him off was, what's your slave name, boy? We want your slave name. All you boys have one. So then I knew I was in for a long trip. So we had a little conversation and stuff, about what's going on. He said, well, if you believe you been kidnapped, why did you get in the car? So I said, well, what am I supposed to do? He has a gun, he has a dog, he has a spade with him. What else was I supposed to do? So he was like, well, it doesn't matter. I said, well, you know what you do to guys that look like me? He said, well, it doesn't matter what you look like. We shoot white guys too. So I said, well, white guy, he never even saw a white guy, you know. So he was like, well, we can hold you indefinitely for being a political prisoner. A political prisoner, this is a free ID, right? So I'm like, well, I don't understand. I just don't understand what's going on. So he's like, well, you will understand after we finish. So they took me to this other room, and they fingerprinted me and everything. I didn't have a choice but to consent to the fingerprint. Well, I did consent, but I mean, under my, under the threat and the coercion that, being inside of the building. So I had to take the fingerprints, and then, the straw name came up, and they said, well, we got you now. We got you now, or whatever. So they ended up holding me for 28 days. But before that, the guy told me, the FBI guy, he told me that, we know about you more, and than the sovereign citizen movement. Well, I'm like, no, don't confuse the two. So he stood back and he thought about it. Well, he didn't think about it. He already knew it was a difference. But he acted like he was thinking about it, just to get a reaction out of me. So I'm like, well, don't confuse the two. It's nothing, it's not the sovereign citizen movement. So he told me about the car that he has. He didn't mention what kind of car it was or anything like that. He just told me he has a car, and that he's a card carrying member, and the only credentials that he needed to be a card carrying member was to be 21 and a Caucasian male. So I was like, whoa. I knew I was in trouble. So, then, when they take me back to the cell, one of these cells that they hold you in, they process me through, and, like I said, I'm in there for days to identify on the street. But now they put me in shackles, handcuffs, feet shackled, waist shackled, and I'm all shackled together. Right? Just for fake ID. Right? But the thing was, when they took me to the back, they put me in an isolation cell all by myself, like I was a killer or something. Like I committed some grave crime. But, anyway, they ended up letting me out 28 days later, and with nothing. Totally free. They didn't say anything about no court date or anything like.
When when was the release?
28th, on the 28th of January. So, and after they release me, they give you your property back. All the things they take from you, that you can't have back there. They didn't give me my nationality card. And they just kept it. So, that's my story on the how real that Moore science and about us being Moors. This is how real it really is. They know what's going on. Right? So I'm just in there for a stage ID. And by the way, they didn't even charge me with the stage ID. They said that I had committed some traffic infraction. And they wouldn't release me until the traffic infractions were completely paid for, so to speak. So I had to stay in there for 28 days for some traffic tickets without the state ID. Well, and the reason why they said they had me in the first place is because of the straw had an issue way back. I don't know how many years ago that was. But that's beside the point. I presented my ID, my nationality card, my nationality card to him on the scene. So that should have been it. That should have been it. But no, they proceeded to, with the little things that they do, the tactics that they do to just blatantly disregard whatever you say. So again, like I said, that's my story. To let everybody know that this is really real.
What's your take on the sacrifice that they made you pay by holding you?
Wait, say it again?
By them holding you. Like what is your take on that sacrifice that you had to endure?
Well, my take on that is, uh, well, the thing about the sacrifice was that everybody should know about Moorish science. Everybody should know that we Moors. And that I learned that these people are not respectful of what we're going through. So that's not really. I really didn't, I couldn't understand the question to give you a better answer.
Yeah, I was just saying that based on you having to go through that, what was it? Was it a positive sacrifice? Was it a negative sacrifice? You know what I mean?
Actually,
What?
it was a positive thing because now that they release me with nothing, I don't have to worry about worry about them bothering me for anything other than whatever they might want to do.
Right.
And I say positive. At the same time, it was a struggle for me being inside of those walls because, all the things that you have to go through in there. Like, oh man, it's deep, bro. It's like they put stuff in the food. I'm not going to say what they do to you all in there, but they do stuff to you in there that kills your nature. Right, but didn't need to see this to know that this is real, but for everybody else, for somebody else who doesn't know that this is real, that was the sacrifice. I sacrificed for other people too. So that I could put this on the record and let them know that it was real.
Love. Well, give thanks for that, Mark. And we'll,
Big love, brother.
I'll give you a shout later on or something.
Okay.
All right, peace and love.
All right. Peace and love.
Right? So it's known. It's not a secret. But why all the bad talk? Cause intent, right? And in the material that is being put out. Like for example, if somebody says they're connected to Moors, right? They're Moors. They're connected to Moors. There's only verbally two entities that taught that perspective. Noble Drew Ali and Washita, which is still Noble Drew Ali. So we could say, it's still all the Prophet, because he's part of the bloodline, right? It's known. It's known by many people who we wouldn't even think know. Just like the more the FBI, we know about y'all. For people who are new, know that that's how real it is. All the stuff that you hear about, Moors get this, Moors that, all the, all the libel that they do, it's all to keep their fraud afloat. It's all to get, as soon as they can get your attention off of being Moors, they got you. Right? Here's one. Debbie Schlussel. Schlussel. Debbie Schlussel. Okay. Now, she's Polish, Jewish. Okay. Her father was the son of immigrants. Okay. But they're gonna list her on the website and all this stuff as an American attorney, when we know that the Americans are copper tone people. But they put out the stuff to divert your attention, and as soon as your attention's diverted, they steal your birthright. As soon as you say I'm black, they steal your birthright. As soon as you say I'm Negro, they steal your birthright. As soon as you say I'm Kemetic, they just stole your birthright. When you say that you're more, just like the brother said that he's more, yeah, trials, tribulations, you know what I mean? Who knows what karma he had to pay. That's why he went through that. It's not nobody's business. Point is, he got released with nothing. They picked him up for something, and he got released for nothing. And nothing at all. Right? So, Because remember, get you to not be who you are, have jurisdiction on the prince. Because it's a status issue. And the people who are producing, publishing the whatever against Moors are these level people, right? Um, Published in New York Post, Wall Street Journal, Washington Times. These are the type of people, when we talk about TMZ and these people. Not just some, nobody Europeans. They're people, right? She's a critic. She's a film critic, commentator, or whatever, that has a foundation in law. Why a foundation in law? To be some critic or whatever, so that they can do their little yellow journalism and put things in the ethers. And once they get put in the ethers, then it's there until, what I mean? That's why Islam to all the Moors, right? Like Moor that just called, and all the other Moors that sacrificed for this, so that Moors could present what this really is. You know, Moor said sacrificing not just for himself, went in there for you, so you can take your birthright more serious. Not hearsay. You heard him say himself. He went in there for you, so you could take your birthright more serious. 28 days or whatever, right? So Debbie has this article. More posted it today. This is from 2014, June 25th, 2014, 4:50 p.m. Right, and then the cycle 9. You probably don't know who the Moorish Muslims are. I'm gonna stop right there. Moorish Muslims, and then Moorish is in quote unquote. So she knows what you're talking about, mentioning certain stuff. It's like we were talking about in class yesterday with Barack in his speech and talking about the Muslims in America and the Muslim relations in America and whatever like that, and respect for the Quran, and Thomas Jefferson had a Quran and all this type of stuff. They're not tying that to terrorists. How come they're not tying that to terrorists? How come they're not saying, hey, Barack Obama's talking about terrorists or whatever like that? But they're gonna try to tie active faithful Moors who sacrifice like our brother, for the nation, and corral Moors with dirty Moors, or Moors with unconscious Moors that are just dirty people when there's no connection, right? Now, as you read some of the things, you're gonna see that they're taking their position of what Noble Juali told the Moors to do, right? The press is our greatest weapon, and all that. So they're using their avenues, just like the Moors should be using their Islam to all those Moors that put out something, whether it's a book, they got a website or something like that. That's putting this information out in the right perspective so that people can be clear as to what this is when they get it, not be confused and have 500 questions, when they hear somebody that calls themselves a Moor talk. There's not supposed to be all these questions after. The first thing is they're not Negro, black, colored. There, go somewhere else after you get that. You ain't going nowhere talking about getting out of anything until that lesson there is learned to its highest degree. Okay? So you probably don't know who the Moorish Muslims are, but they are dangerous terrorist drug dealers and assorted other bad apples populate this radical Muslim group that gave birth to the Nation of Islam. So they're tied to it too. So they could think that they're getting out of, you know, the smear campaign. But they better know that they're in it too. And why are they in it? That's judgment because, you should have been told the people about Noble Drew Ali and all that. Now you're caught up in smear campaign with dirty Moors who's doing madness. And they're letting the secret out. That the Moorish gave birth to the Nation of Islam. Some European lady, Polish Jew. Not really Jew, you're just Polish. And while they live on American soil, they claim they aren't subject to American law. Right? We know American law is the Constitution. We know that. And we know we aren't subject to that. They are. That's their stuff to follow. It's ours to enforce so that they follow. But because, we abandoned the Prophet, didn't enforce Constitution, like he told the Moors, enforce, right? And then don't forget these clowns here talking about, Moors are dangerous terrorist drug dealers, right? Now remember, Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, enforce the Constitution. Enforce the Constitution. And then, you have the Moors over here say, yeah, that means divine Constitution. Then you have the Moors over here say, that means the national Constitution, right? But don't forget, there was also a Zodiac Constitution. So that's another constitution that you have to add to the constitutions that Noble Drew Ali told the Moors to enforce. Because we already know that CMB was down with the Prophet, no fronting. He carried out what was supposed to be carried out for the Moors after the Prophet left the scene. Because, again, so many dirty Moors around here. Moor had to do what he had to do to save the nation. So when we go to the Zodiac Constitution, this is for all the backbite, whoever, whatever, that want to tie faithful, true Moors to some type of criminal, dangerous behavior. And we're going to end that right now. Though there's no comparison. Put those Moors in a corner over there and stone them over there. Don't be throwing stones over here. We're not them. We're not these Moorish Muslims. Right? Article 6. The one and only universal moral law for unity, peace, and economic and social progress. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is the only universal, unchanged moral law for the human family, for unity, human equality, respect, peace, and economic and social progress. Therefore, every Moor, the Bays and the Elves, must be guided by this constitution and book clock of destiny. do that which is right by reason, and have respect for the white lawmakers, quote unquote, and citizens of the Magna Charta Union Society of the 50 states in order to demand respect from them. The white peoples, quote unquote, of the Union are guided by their Magna Charta traditions and customs, and the Moors are guided by the Zodiac Constitution law. Nevertheless, their customs and traditions, including themselves, must be respected by the Moors without submitting themselves to any of the Magna Charta customs. That which is termed the Christian law is a rule of action recorded on paper and supported by authority and force. The zodiac law of nature is recorded in the wisdom of women and men and supported by moral intelligence, the greatest law. Knowledge of zodiac masonry, as shown in this Moorish constitution and also in my book Clock of Destiny, volume 1 and 2, will prevent a Moorish American, he or she, from indulging in crime. They then would not have to appear in the courtroom to stand trial. Should a Moorish American who has this Constitution and Book 1 and 2 indulge in crime, such as narcotics, robbery, forgery, prostitution, illegal whiskey or alcohol, illegal schemes, gambling, peace breaking, violence, and disrespect for the law of the city, country, state, and federal, they then have incriminated themselves and therefore will be penalized. This Constitution card and book definitely does not protect criminals. Beware. A, the Clock of Destiny Moorish American Identification Card and Constitution has been registered in the Library of Congress and signed by the author, CMB. A Moorish American cannot be convicted on false accusation, frame up charges. The evidence against a Moorish American must be concrete proof beyond a shadow of a doubt. The Moorish nation of 150 million in 1951 of the USA shall not be destroyed for lack of truth and knowledge of the law and constitution of the Moors. So that's Clock of Destiny, founder, writer, CMB, and that's from the Zodiac Constitution. So Ms. Schutzel here talking crap about Moorish Muslims and illegal behavior obviously didn't get in contact with Moors to write her article. Then she goes on, the Moorish Muslims, including convicted Al Qaeda people and all that stuff. You talk about Al Qaeda, you're talking about fraud. You're talking about Al Qaeda, you're talking about CIA, FBI, all these people who are the real criminals. Those are the real criminals. But told them more. He's a card carrying member. That's the nigger card. You know the nigger card online? Everybody's black guys like to show? Yeah, the nigger card. Oh, yeah, haha. They have a nigger card. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. No, they really have a nigger card. And the nigger card, just go look it up online. The nigger card is their right to shoot you in the street if you want to classify yourself as Negro, black, colored, or nigger. Nigger, whatever. They have a right to shoot. Why? Because anybody who doesn't have a nationality is considered it at law. Dead. Targets are black. You're going to be a black guy when targets are black, and then you're complaining about people shooting you up. They don't shoot white targets when they're in the range or whatever. Go talk to all the military Moors. If they ever seen a white target, ever, when they go to the range, go ask them. And the only time they have White target is when it's the cutoff guy and he's a European guy or something like that. But they don't have no white targets. Why they have black targets? Because that's what they're training to shoot. But then that's racist. No, it's not racist. That's stupid. Why are you gonna call yourself something that people are shooting at? And you don't even look like the thing that they're shooting at. But that's our people. That's why we're so needed. That's why we're so needed. More. Because if there were no Moors, there'll be no hope for these people out here. Zero. Zero. Why? Because they would be all researching. That's all they're conscious, researching. And they'll find some article and then start, playing this game. Right? Now let's all they tie Moors in with madness. Okay? And they know that they're tying Moors in with madness because that's how you know the intent. She's already an attorney. You already know what this is about. So there's intent behind this. This is not just she just writing the article. She got paid or whatever to write this. Put this out. Use her status, her New York Post, whatever status, to get the word out on the Moors. Hopefully that it gets on some black table. Right? The Moorish Science Temple, aka Al Marrakesh Society. Moorish Science Temple is Marrakesh Society? For real? Hold on. Moorish Science Temple is Marrakesh Society. Where did they get this idea from? Oh, from Moors that are package sellers that call themselves Moorish Science Temple. So all they had to do was tie those jokers that people are following right now, going and having naturalization ceremony and all this, but paying when it's their birthright to natural. You're gonna naturalize it. It's your birthright. Naturalize. That's what you want to do. Go ahead. But that's your birthright. Why are you paying? Well, why are Moors charging for whatever things that are free, like somebody's birthright? The only way, the only way that they can tie Moorish Science Temple and say that Moorish Science Temple is AKA Marrakesh Society, which is package sellers, is if Moorish Science Temple got some package sellers too, which we know that they got. But remember, that's those Moors. Moors that are faithful to the principles of the Prophet Noble Juali do not engage in criminal activity because the laws laid down. And once they're engaging in criminal activity, like Noble Juali said, those are not Moors, they're robbers. And if they're robbers, why are you around them? Why are you befriending them? And they're robbers. Why are you befriending robbers? So article goes on about all this crap. Google Moorish passport and Moorish league. Moorish passport and Moorish league. Google that, right? Now, this is for all the make your stuff Moors. Make stuff. then claim that, yeah, this is the real stuff when it has no type of tie to Noble Drew Ali, where he said, if the prophet's not right, whatever the hell you're doing is not right. Hampton L. was the only American-born Muslim involved in the 93 WTC plot and assisted the bombers in testing the explosives. He was also involved in Al-Fuqra, a secretive black Muslim sect related to the Moorish scientists that vows to conduct jihad against America from within. It is headed by a non-black Pakistani sheikh and all this other stuff. Now, when you do your research on the Moorish League, you'll realize that some stuff that was from some Europeans. So now, if you Google that, it's immediately going to come up that they were Europeans who were down with what Noble Drew Ali taught. Why is she putting that on here and not saying that the Moorish League are terrorists or that these Europeans, you know, who are down with Noble Drew Ali because, they have a Moorish passport, they're Europeans, and they follow the teachings of Noble Drew Ali and all that. They're not labeled as the terrorists. Right? That's how you know they look out for their own. You know, right? Moorish Science Temple everywhere. Moorish scientists. Right? Give you a breakdown of the fraud guys. Right? Now this part is crazy. Like I said, the Moorish scientists are not to be ignored. They are dangerous Muslims. Moors don't demonstrate as we're Muslims. Even if we're doing salat, wearing hijabs or whatever, we all say we're Muslims. Moors never ever say that they're Muslims. Right? That's a fact. People say that. But Moors don't say that they're Muslims. We might say we're Muslim. We might say we're Sufi. We don't say that we're Muslim. Right? They are dangerous Muslims who have no regard for American law or American lives. Right? After they labeled Noble Drew Ali black in the article, right? Come and steal the birthright. Now they're talking about they're in the American lives. Well, Americans are copper tone people. Go look up Debbie Schutzel. She not no copper tone. Well, how she become American? In her article that she wrote. In her article that she wrote, she's American. Go look up all the other articles of Debbie Schutz and see what they call her American and them. But she got some stuff out there on her. You know. The last line, Deion Sanders' ex shouldn't take associating with these people lightly. And then that's why they're going after her, because she didn't take this lightly. She took this serious, just like the Moor took this serious. Put their life on the line for what the Prophet brought them. Just because, what else am I going to be involved in? If not this. I'm not done with Libel yet, because if you have a Black's Law Dictionary, just go look that up. Accusation in writing or printing against the character of a person which affects his reputation, in that it tends to hold him up to ridicule, contempt, shame, grace, or obloquy, to degrade him, in the estimation of the community, to induce an evil opinion of him in the minds of right-thinking persons, to make him an object of reproach, to diminish his respectability or abridge his comforts, to change his position in society for the worse, to dishonor or discredit him in the estimation of the public, or his friends and acquaintances, or to deprive him of friendly intercourse in society, or cause him to be shunned or avoided, or where it is charged that one has violated his public duty as a public officer. Almost any language which upon its face has a natural tendency to injure a man's reputation, either or either generally or with respect to his occupation, censorious or ridiculing writing, picture or sign made with a mischievous intent, disparaging of goods is a form of libel. False accusation which dishonors or discredits a man in estimate of public or his friends and acquaintances, or has a reasonable tendency to do so. False and malicious publication, which charges an offense punishable by indictment, or which tends to bring individual to public hatred, contempt, or ridicule, or charges an act odious and disgraceful in society. False and malicious publication intended to injure reputation. And it goes on and on for another page. So we when we consider that all of the things that come out that are against morals are coming from individuals that have malicious intent. Because like brother confirmed, FBI knows about this. If FBI knows about this, then this is not something that isn't known by the president. This is not something that isn't known by international community. As far as our position, as far as that we're out here and we're, exercising as morals. Yeah, the brother got kidnapped, but he learned something out of that. You know what I mean? The experience was a lesson. And that lesson is supposed to inspire other people, which, you know what I mean, we're saying it better. You better be inspired to know that, But if you're not, it's cool because with or without you, this is carrying on. When you take this serious, put in some study, like Morris say, when we study, you're home for a little bit. You know what I mean? Food's stacked in the fridge, and you're home for a little bit. You might even save on cable and internet bill for a few months to really get some studying done. That's with having job and whatever else that you got to do. You know what I mean? Whatever. Because our ultimate goal is a self-exorcism, ridding ourselves of all of the filth that we've ingested mentally, so that we can get with individuals who are on the right mind frame, the right frequency, the same frequency that we're on, and get some things done for the posterity or the future generations for real. Because everybody else is playing. I mean, like, people are playing. Everybody has talk, you know what I mean, but not wanting to do what's necessary. They want to succumb to the fraud of being Negro, black, colored. If somebody put that in a book, that's the same thing that we're talking about. False publication. The people that they're Moors, you say that they're black in a book, it's published. We know that they're Moors. You got a degree from somewhere. Have to be siding with the other side. You know what I mean? And some of them, some of them told you early. Dr. Ben told people early, Arab Moors and African Moors. That's how he identified our people in his book. Arab Moors and African Moors. Because he learned that Arab, Moor, and African are synonymous. Synonymous. Dr. Ben taught that. It's in his book. That's in publication. They honor him. But they're not going to call themselves Moor. They're just Moors forever. But it's okay, because that's their birthright that they're throwing away. You know? Everybody honored, yeah, Dr. Clark. Black told them, black's not a nationality. Negro's not a nationality. Like, you need a nationality. Told them. Nothing. All these so-called, and this is why, we charge Moors to put out findings of stuff that you find, right? Because people are playing games. We seen, everybody's seen the little clip or whatever, you know what I mean, of brother Khalid Muhammad talking about he's a Moor. And we've been pushing that thing so hard. When that's the weakest part of the whole speech. And Brother Casanova dropped the realness of what he was saying. Like Khalid Muhammad talking about nationality is the order of the day. How come the poster guy that we put up the first stuff didn't put up those parts? No, you leave those parts out. That's the main theme of Noble Drew Ali's lesson. That nationality is the order of the day. It came out of Khalid Muhammad's mouth. I didn't know that till today when I watched the video that he said all that. And I known about that Khalid one for years. But he's a Moor. When the realness is that he knew exactly what Noble Drew Ali brought. And that was going to be the focus of the new Black Panther Party. King Alfred Plan, I already told you that. That's the agent stuff. That's the black whatever. So they're infiltrated. Get him out the way and have some losers up in there. To send this thing back into the oblivion of blackness. When it was just about to get out the whirlpool by Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Told these people nationality is the order of the day. Those talks, wasn't there that little stuff in that I'm a Moor video? He was saying word for word things that Noble Drew Ali said. Khalid Muhammad. All these people are gonna post his sellout son's little sayings and crap. They honor him, bro. Yeah, honor Khalid, but post his sellout son stuff. Interview his son. When they took Khalid out because he started studying Noble Juali just like they did to El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. Found out about Noble Juali, all these guys being members of Moorish Science Temple and all that. Fard wasn't no Allah in person. They stole that, to give him some upness so they can push Elijah Muhammad as a student of Allah, madness like that. Allah sent Elijah Muhammad in the name of, and those ones, pull those ones, think you get away with something? Took them out. Took him out because he found out. Forget all the stuff that they talk about. Oh yeah, he's talking about Elijah Muhammad negative. So we're gonna deal with his case. Cause that's the lamb and you don't talk about the lamb like that. We're gonna regulate on you. Yeah, right. He found out that all these guys had nationality cards talking about black stuff, black Asiatics in the wilderness of North America when this is your birthright. What wilderness is talking about? There's paved stuff here. There's pyramids and buildings and libraries and stuff here. What wilderness? Sell out these people's birthright, right? Didn't they put out books? They put out books, right? They put out books. I don't secret that they put out books. Know about Noble Juali. Know about everything, right? Bring these crap. This is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in teaching Islam to the black man of America, is under attack. This is why his theological teachings are being distorted into racism. This is why he and his followers who have converted to Islam are being denied the right to worship in their own manner, a right given to persons of other faiths. The crux of the matter is, the black man of America is hungry for leadership. Mr. Muhammad so ably offers. The black man of America is looking for more than legalism. The black man of America wants more than a gradual restoration of his right. What the black man of America seeks is a restoration of his identity as an elect people. So hold on a second. So if the black man of America wants more than a gradual restoration of a right, and what he really wants is the restoration of his identity, why don't you just call people Moors? Why don't you call them black people after you make that statement? What the black man of America seeks is a return to his own, which includes his people, his God, his religion, his language, his part of earth, and a physical and spiritual reunion with his own nation. So if the black man wants that, why don't you just call him Moors? And stop calling them black men and black people. Because like we said, when we went to Louisiana, as soon as you start talking about Moors, Noble Drew Ali's name comes up, and as soon as Noble Drew Ali's name comes up, all these people who you've been calling leaders or whatever like that, they become nobody. And that was from Fall of America. If you want to go support them and go get the stuff, just go get the stuff. The Fall of America, right? When really it should be the fall of the U.S. But if they're siding with the U.S., right, to give the people their birthright under some fraud that, it's a Mary with a triple K and an A, right? These hip hop sellout guys telling people about their birthright is America with a triple K in it because this is really the KKK's land or whatever like that, whatever the hell they're thinking about. Madness. Now people listening to that crap. And that's conscious stuff. That's the know their self. But they call people black people, but you want your own nation, but you're gonna call yourself a black person when you know better. Oh, that means that's intent. Because Elijah Muhammad is Elijah Poole before he started writing these books for the Nation of Islam. So that means he knew that the people are Moors. And what he decided to do? Oh yeah, just mention Noble Drew Ali a little bit. Follow instead of doing like what Castro did, right? And saying, forget you guys. We're gonna tell these people that they're Moors and lock the European out. He didn't do that. Start playing the game. Playing the game. Given the teaching the people that America is negative so that the European could say American and the people automatically tie that to that's negative and then abandon their own birthright. And then the European picks it up and rules the North Gate from Washington, D.C., which is not even the capital of nothing. Washington, D.C., private corporation on paper. And that's where people's mind are, is that's the governmental guys. When there's two seals on the dollar bill and they only talk under the eagle. And then the pyramid sitting there. And all these people say, oh yeah, we built pyramids and we're black people from Africa where the pyramids are at. But they're not claiming their seal over here. That's on the dollar bill. And they talk about white man doing something to them. No, we're doing stuff to ourselves. You know, doing stuff to ourselves. Then complain about it. It's not complaining time right now. Right now it's action time right now. Right now it's action time. It's do time right now. If you say that you're a Moor and this is your estate and you have a nationality card or you have some papers declaring that you're a national of this estate, you have a duty to be active. And like we say, active doesn't mean going in the court and talking to some magistrate. Active means uplifting fallen humanity. What do you mean? Uplift fallen humanity. So you mean I should do a community cleanup? Yeah, that's uplifting fallen humanity. That's being active. So you mean I should do a food drive? That's definitely active, uplifting fallen humanity. So I should show people how to get out of debts and then charge them because I know how to do that? No, That's not uplifting for humanity. That's being a package seller, dirty moron. And you should tell them for free how to do that if you know how to do it so good, not charge them for it. So uplifting fallen humanity is the call that Noble Drew Ali sent out to the Moors that, please help him in his missionary work to bring our people back into the constitutional fold of government. And once we do those things, once we do the things that Noble Drew Ali told us to do, then we would start seeing things manifesting. Right? Just remember, just remember that this is a divine and national movement. And the two perspectives have to be in motion. You know when they have I think they did it in Captain America, I think. But the nuclear bomb's about to go off or whatever, and you know, two guys and two keys that have to go in the thing at the same time and turn at the same time, but one's here and one's all the way over there, and then that last guy's trying to get to the spot before, you know what I mean? Right? Okay. That's the divine and the national. And those two things have to be going at the same time for this to be anything. Now, yeah, you can get by just dealing with the divine side, or you can get by just dealing with the national side, because this is that's the foundation. That's what's holding this up. You know what I mean? You can use any one of those pillars, but think about it like a building, and you got four columns and two's missing. The building's gonna not really be, you know. So in this, the Moorish Divine and National movement, the movement has two pillars: Moorish Divine and Moorish National. Two pillars, and those two pillars are what keeps this up. So we have to consider that the divine seeps into the national. The national is the manifest of the divine. So there's a continuous cycle of these two energies working together throughout this thing. Right? If you say I'm a Moor, that's a national statement. But if you have a turban on, there's like Killer Priest says, you take the clouds and make a turban with it, because it's that divine, right? The turban has that much divine power within it. So that's a divine and national demonstration. A Moor with a turban saying I'm a Moor. Because that perspective, that I am, the I am, is also divine. I am, that's divine. Kudro Aro El, that's national. Because I am that's not, that's the ritual. I am the I am. That's the God ritual. That's the arm, leg, arm, head ritual. I self law, I master ritual. Because this is, you know, to get man to reach deific life. The purpose of this. And it will happen once we take what Noble Drew Ali presented and digest that. All the other things are, you know, blocks of wood pointing in a direction. All the other stuff, classes, whatever, all those things are just blocks of wood, just pointing people in directions. If you want to go find something out there, here's some direction to go in. Many people put out information that's not legit, libel. So, to people, black people, when they're really Moors, and they know that they're Moors, that's malicious literature. You ruin a nation's career. Call a nation black. Write some stuff out here about Chinese people or yellow people, and send that out and see if they don't have some rebuttal to that. They're not gonna sit down and take that because they know that's against their nation. This is a frequency, and this frequency of more science right now at this point in time, right? This point in time right now, more science, the frequency of more science is in tune with the universe. Just ask all the people who came into more science, and they're looking at, for example, astrology, for the first time, or not in, they're looking at it more in depth than they ever looked at it, and they're realizing how much this stuff is really lining up. Not even being a novice at astrology, realizing that, okay, something's definitely going on because things are manifesting in ways that are can't be comprehended by the finite mind. Can't even talk about some of the stuff that you're going through right now. Because you start talking about, people are going to want to send you to madhouses and stuff, disown you. And you're talking some basic, shows the level of the people. Because the people have to be the ones to recognize what Noble Drew Ali brought for them. It has to be recognized for that individual themselves. They have to digest it. People with it could only say so much. It's really about you accepting that this is your stuff. It's not some put on. It's not some, we want this boosted up so it could be in line with whatever else that's out there. This is birthright. This is unalienable. Can't be traded, sold, pawned off for anything. Pawn off your blinking. Pawn off your breathing. You can't. You can't give, you know what I mean? You pawn your blood off. You could pawn your organs off. But try to pawn the higher level things. Pawn your smell off. Pawn your senses off. Pawn your intuition off. Somebody who doesn't have intuition and you got it, try sell them intuition. Okay? The same way that you can't, same thing with birthright. It's abstract. It's not tangible. It's no different with people that have, papers and cards and think that that's what it's about. It's about a mindset. I mean, why would, now, if, now, we have the brother situation, right? Noble Drew Ali said that he wants strong men and women. Okay? For a more to go through sacrifice, whatever the sacrifice is. and come out of it unscathed, like come out of it stronger than he or she went into it, then that wasn't really a negative situation. It's outside influence that's gonna taint that. But the individual had a promising, positive experience that can be transformed and used. And he chose to use it to inspire. Because I told him, yo, why don't we just talk about this on class? Yo, he gave for it. Because we already know what's happening. You know what I mean? Like I'm meeting Moors who I talk to online. Like I'm meeting them for real. Yeah, I'm meeting them for real. People you never met before. Because of the frequency, the vibration. Like we said, just met the brother. And then the stuff goes down. Right? And it's going down, and as usual, Canaanland gets the scoop. Nothing personal. It's the frequency. You know, we go to a temple on weekend, weekday, whatever. There's a message. When we go on weekends, there are 9 messages every Sunday, because I'm the message checker. Every Sunday, 9, 10, 11 messages. And not even about people got issues. You just want to know about what this is. Yo, I was just watching the video, a number came up, so I just wanted to call, you know what I mean? I just want to get more information. That's all. You don't have no problems, nothing? No, I don't got no issues or whatever like that. You know, I'm a retired football player. Or, my family or whatever, handing me down or whatever. No, I just seen your class. I just like how you do class. It's not like everybody else. So, I just want to say what up. So this is drawing people. This is drawing people. And us using these mediums, all these Moors, like I said in the beginning, Islam to all you Moors who are using your technological savvy, whatever, make websites and do all these things to put out information for the people to have it. Don't think that that's not being active. Don't think that that's not taking your place in putting out this information that the Prophet brought for our people to be free. To not always have to, be violated all the time. Just like the brother, like, I mean, yo, if you're gonna get rid of everything, hey, you're just gonna, yeah, let me talk to you a second, and bring me out the cell and just let me out the place, like just like that, just like that. I mean, there are 28 days or whatever, and then one day, out of those 28 days, man just lets you out the stuff, just because, you know, we really think that you're serious about this, but the other side of it is that you're talking to everybody up in here, and we can't have these people, you know what I mean? Because one of the things that didn't get brought up was that the people who are inside, the people who are inside are They had no clue of what this is about. But every time he comes on the range, everybody's crowded around him for, to hear talk about stuff. You want to go to law library and stuff like that. You want to go to law library. Since when you guys interested in law library? Oh, well, the guy over there is saying whatever, so we just want to go check this, and see whatever. Instantaneous. 28 days, got 10, 15 people around him, doing class inside the place, inside the joint, doing class, where they had to take him out, put him in isolation again because they're like, oh, you shouldn't have did it. Well, you already did it. So what are you going to do now? Put him in isolation, play the game. Oh, yeah, he did something bad. We have to, what I mean, let this man off the back. Just to show that, okay, you got some conviction. You're standing up for this. All right, you're standing up for this. Because remember, in the writings, it is said that, Noble Drew Ali had direct links with National Guard and all that. And not because he was sellout or nothing like that, because he was the sovereign. And if you think about it, on the level that, you know, it's supposed to be looked at, the same way he had, let's say, you know, because people like to say, the oral statement, somebody said that, so we don't know if that's real or whatever. Okay, well, let's put the parallels, right? So it is said, word on the street is, that Noble Drew Ali had links to National Guard, that Moors used to drive the tanks to the temple. Moors used to drive the tanks to the temple, is, the talk, right? Now, if we parallel that with Oscar the Priest, who's a congressman of Chicago, politician or whatever like that, on that same level, frequency as National Guard, and there's pictures to prove that Oscar the Priest knew Noble Drew Ali, chilled with him. There's articles to prove that Oscar the Priest was a member of the temple. He wasn't just looking for some props. He was a member. That's why all the Moors voted for him to be the first black congressman. There's that Libel again. Know that he's a Moor. The priest know that he's a Moor. Not secret that he's a Moor. They're gonna make him the black congressman. Stuff. But he was with the Prophet. And if he was with the Prophet, he was a politician, whatever, first black congressman or whatever, then Prophet must have had some links to some National Guard. I wouldn't doubt it, just because that was the extent. That's how large he was. That's how big time he was. He had it like that he had National Guard. He had it like that he's going to go to Cuba and come off the ship and soldiers stand at attention when the Prophet comes through. Stand at attention because the Prophet came through. Soldiers. Again, oral statements. Well, Amor said that. We don't know if that's real and if it was really happening. Well, you had National Guard, Oscar the Priest. You know what I mean? Prophesies that there's going to be, Asiatic vice president. or an Asiatic president and a European vice president prophesies that, prophesies all these bridges across the sky and all that we see today, you know, prophesies, they're going to be making bombs that's not, you could drop it on the spot as big as my shoe. They got drone and all that type of stuff now, that's real. Everything's manifesting to prove to our people. So we have to continue, stand strong for what the prophet brought us. We know what's up. Forget who doesn't know, who claims that they know. Who, the ones who know what's up. You know what I'm talking about. The ones who are gonna know, they already know. They're just not there yet of exercising the knowing. But they already know how real this is. The Moors, the Moabites, the ancient ones that came back again. Those Moors there, all you Moors, we know what's up. And we have to continue doing what it is that we know has to be done. You know what I mean? Because our generation got to pay some dues. You know what I mean? People before us generation that taught us, right? The Tajes and the C. Freeman L's, the Ivan Van Sertima's, the John Jacksons and these people, right? All these people, they didn't have the backing. They didn't have the people behind them doing what they did. Those generations of people were like when Al Hajj told him, what's all this clapping? You stop the damn clapping. What are you clapping about? You still clapping? You're not doing nothing yet? You still go and lecture to clap? You didn't bring no note to take them notes or nothing? You go in to clap? Forget the clapping stuff. Let's get some stuff done. Forget the go lectures, go Super Bowl, go watch people throw balls and all that stuff. Let's get some work done around here. Let's do some stuff so that we have something, opposed to every generation begging. Because the time is now. Like we're saying, we're setting up. Moors doing their stuff in Canaanland. Islam to Canaanland Moors. You know what I mean? The active Moors. The Moor who took it on himself got the studio going on. Now he got the studio now. You know what I mean? For the Moors, go do what they have to do with regard to that. All the Moors that are doing things to make sure the posterity have something. And to get this word out to the people about their nationality and birthright. Islam to all the Moors. We're gonna also read Savior of Humanity. Because the real Savior of humanity is knowledge of self. And that was the lesson that Noble Juali taught. That was the lesson for us to really know ourselves. Not be Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. Be more. Be who we really are. Don't be the fiction. Be the reality. Savior of humanity. In this electrified age, men are racing into this life without complete knowledge of where they are going or what the end will be. When riches seem to be their only pursuit to be obtained, any way and at any cost. When selfishness, avarice, greed, and lust dominate their very being. When humanity in general is left at the mercy of those who have no mercy in them. It is truly wonderful and astounding to see one come into this mad human drama for the sole purpose of saving humanity, losing all sight on things worldly and yielding absolutely to a cause higher than has ever yet been attained. This picture is the likeness of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is serving humanity, coming as he does with a message for the nations in somewhat the same manner as did Yahushua, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, and other prophets of their day. Only the things of this prophet's day differ from the ills of the days of the past, and yet the remedy for the ills of today is about the same as the remedies for the days past, all turning about the pivot love for humanity. Humanity must be lifted from the unwholesome depths of poverty, misery, and suffering, and placed on the solid rock of salvation. There are some who claim to do this, but upon investigation, one finds that they have slouched under the wings of their cross to extract from those who come to them means by which they can have pleasures in this life while they point their followers to the joy after death. While they feed their sheep, they also share them while eating. At the close of their day, the master will be heard to tell them, "You have your reward, get thee hence." Rare is it that you find a real prophet whose mission is the salvation of the nations. The land is full of false prophets whose mission is to fleece the people. The time was and now is that there should come into the land a prophet in the likeness of his brothers to redeem them from sin and slavery. Truly, this prophet, Noble Drew Ali, is the man, bringing with him the message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, which alone can save the nations. Like the coming of Yahushua, he does not come from the elect, nor the rich, nor the mighty in worldly power, but all power is given unto him to do good. This power is from Allah. It will be his works that will make men of every nation accept the truth that he brings. It will be through his teachings that the nations of the earth will understand the will of the Master. It will be through him that peace on earth and goodwill to all men shall come. It will be through his work that humanity will be brought from the slime of life and placed on the solid rock of salvation. And we also wanted to read that for the Moors who say that how come Noble Drew Ali always says Jesus, right? Um, just want to put it on the record so that you can see that he taught higher degrees. And Jesus was the basic degree for the dummies who were in Christianity, chasing after this Roman like their God, and didn't have any clue about anything. So he used Jesus as the carrot to reel them in. And he started reeling them in. And the more they got reeled in, the more information they got. Until they were at the level where they can take their place. And we're at that place once again when the Moors have to be the ones to bring the rebirth of what was and forevermore shall be. Because it's that time. And again, it will be through him, the noble prophet, Drew Ali, that peace on earth and goodwill to all men shall come. No, it's not spooky religious Moors singing hymns to Noble Drew Ali. We're not those ones. So don't even get it twisted. We're not the worshippers of Noble Drew Ali. We're not the parrots. We're not the Moors on Noble Drew Ali's shoulder repeating everything that he said. Right? We're the faithful, true, loyal, active Moors. Strong men and women. that are willing to sacrifice so that this word could get out to the people. And once again, I want to say Islam to all the Moors, because the work that you're doing, that we're doing, the work that you have done, all the Moors that aren't even here anymore to get their props, know that it's finally coming around. It's finally coming back around to where when Karen Hudis is talking about Moroccan treaties and stuff like that, you know that stuff's going down. You know that it's going down. When Lil Wayne joined Zulu Nation, I'm gonna tell you something, right? Taj Tariq Bey, master teacher, told Africa Bambaataa Bey personally, anybody who comes into this Zulu Nation better know about their birthright. And based on him, Africa Bambaataa Bey going and getting plaques from city of New York and stuff like that, and saying on the record there that people are Moors, you know that he ain't dropping no balls around here. Anybody coming in, they're going to be put on the info. So know that it's going down. If you see Lil Wayne is Zulu Nation, which means that he's going to be studying more science. It's factual, right? Just remember. Just remember. We'll close out with the prayer. Islam to all the Moors everywhere, conscious, active, competent. I mean, passive Moors, you need to step up the game. You know what I mean? You don't want to be caught in the dirty category because you're passive. And dirty Moors, you already know. We love y'all, but it's not going down because time's over. No more fiat. No more fiat. Time's over. Get a job or something. If you don't want to do that, then use some of your energy to get back or give back. You know what I mean? And repent from your sins, because Satan's gonna get you. Don't forget. Don't forget. Negro or colored or Ethiopian. We're Moors. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, noble Juali. Islam, Islam, Islam. Peace and Hotep, Moors. See y'all tomorrow night. blogtalkradio.com, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open. Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Blog Talk Radio tomorrow. Peace, love, and Hotep.